So you're not like completely off the goop here.
The time is now, old man.
Oh, old man.
I don't know who's old man. No, I don't know who I called an old man.
Speaking of old men, we do have Mitch and Matt joining us.
It's us.
I'll have you know, I'm below the average age of a gamer. Thank you. The average age is 32.
Are you?
I'm right under that.
Wait.
So, Matt, what's your excuse?
I thought you were as old as I am.
I don't have an excuse.
Nah, mate. Nah, I'm 31. Get wrecked.
Oh. Oh, darn. Well.
Yeah.
Oh, to be in your 20s. Good times.
I think the Titans win this game. I think the Gladiators are just on like an epic slide right now. And, you know, we've seen another team on an epic slide in our last game, and it doesn't seem like there's a really kind of any moving off of this.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was pretty clear that the Los Angeles Gladiators needed to make some changes in their backline, right? Obviously, Cal is brought in. They've lost their mojo, but they do have their Swedish-made DPS enlarger here in Kevster, so that's definitely someone you can count on to stand up. Problem is that this team has looked extremely disjointed. I'm going to say it. Since Dante departed this roster, they have not looked themselves. They are now 5-6. 5-6!
Yeah, that's not great.
The org knows it. You know, I don't need to remind them, but yeah, big issues here in the Gladiators camp. And this Vancouver Titans comes off a hot win against a floundering Justice team. So I'd be scared of the Titans.
I mean, what's also interesting with the Titans, right? You know, obviously Heesang comes in and he's looked pretty solid in this roster, but from the Shock kind of sitting in 5th right now at 6-6, everybody else kind of hovering around, you know, 5-6, 5-7, you know, 6-8. All of those teams pretty much have a losing outside of the top 4. The only team with a positive map differential is the Titans, which is kind of bonkers to think about.
That is wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a tremendous plus minus, right? It's +2, but still, you know, it just gives you an idea that in the series that they're supposed to win, they're obviously taking care of business rather quickly, which, look, I mean, the fans, they're voting heavy in favor of the Gladiators, but that just mean maybe just kind of voting with your heart, right? Now, what you've seen lately is the Titans have been pretty good.
Yeah. Searching to end a franchise-long loss streak are the Los Angeles Gladiators. They roll Kevster out like Hannibal on the Ash. He'll play relatively close to the point here. It already sends a dynamite toward that left-hand side that he doesn't opt or is not able to detonate. And again, Marvel trading blows here with Punk on this right-hand side. Kevster trying to use the bubble just in case he gets jumped on. He's saying keeping a respectful distance for now.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're going to be able to kind of keep Kevster alive, right? You imagine, you know, the Ash a little bit of an easier dive target. Some of the other heroes we kind of see in the mix, where right now nobody in control of the point. That was actually Punk who went pretty deep. Forced some players on the Gladiators back.
Yeah, no cap yet either. The Gladiators look to make their way forward, but Kester's flattened again. Ash, not all that durable out of the dive.
Well, I mean, what? Ash gets hacked and then also dove, you know, by a Winston in Sombra. There's nothing that the Ash can really do there. So I think it's a really nice setup here for the Titans. It gives them a clear dive target.
Yaki piloting the Tracer. Vancouver Titans here will cap the point first, though. Off of that Kevster pick, and already you see Punk heading into a higher ground position, probably trying to get a read on where Kevster will be, because they're just going to try and rinse and repeat this dive on the Ash.
It's kind of crazy, though, that they're on this big of a loss streak, right? You just kind of look at the roster and the player names, and you're like, how do you lose to some of the, you know, other teams, right? It's just they've not been able to put it together, it feels like.
Yaki's cursed. I'm convinced of it. Excellent player. Misfortune quite often. He's saying that was the superfluous pulse bomb if I've ever seen one. Punk was on the scene, and Funny Astro was easily dispatched. To the high ground is Punk now, and again, this is a scary spot to be in. Kevster has to aim skyward while the Titans just gain this percentage.
I mean, they nano Marvel, right? And I mean, he just gets pushed back there. You know, not able to kind of do anything there with that nano, and that's going to be primal here pop from Punk, but he's in a tough spot.
Punk is more than happy, though, just doing this, playing this sort of way, not really dropping down until he's ready to engage, and then heading straight back up. He has line of sight to Crimzo right now. And this is very annoying for the Gladiators. Very hard to dig Punk out with their composition. That's not a Marvel going straight to him. That's not Marvel, by the way, as we know. Slept here on the high ground.
I was like, hell on. I've seen Marvel before.
That ain't him. Nope. Here, Primal Rage now. Faith has the rally in play. The Titans have been essentially unbothered when it comes to point control so far. Biter Grenade does connect on Heesang, and Faith, by the looks of things, Heesang A little low, big bio on Marvel, he has to get out. Kevster also needs to be careful. He's saying surging ahead, and Marvel couldn't get far away from the action.
I mean,
Not sure if he didn't expect Heesang to be there or
nah.
just standing still.
I mean, that is so well executed there from the Titans. They just back up just a little bit, give up the point there for a few seconds, and is set up by a big bio grenade that comes in from Crimzo. And the follow-up is there, so Heesang now, a little bit of a lurk here, looking for a target. Gets rid of the translocator.
Pick that one off. Kevster switching over to the Sombra after an unsuccessful stint on the Ashe. Still waiting for that first EMP to come up. Nano available for Crimzo. Would take faith if the EMP comes his way. Cal also has that Nano as well. It's going to be Punk falling first, so Kevster finds value with the EMP. They get rid of the Winston straight away, but it's instantly traded. Crimzo's Bionade on Marvel sets up the kill. And now we have a 4 versus 4. Heesang charges in, Cal in a lot of trouble. There's the stick.
I mean, that is a nice pulse bomb there, as that was actually a nano boost that comes through. Cal and Funny Asher did a pretty nice job keeping each other alive for as long as they could, but that EMP from Sugar Free may have sealed it.
Yeah, Punk finding Yaki here now. Cal gonna find themselves under a lot of pressure, trying to surge forward here, but there was a shield in the way. Cal taken down ultimately by Heesang. It's just Marvel left on the point. The Vancouver Titans pretty smooth sailing through this round.
You never felt like there was a time where they were in trouble, right? Just pretty convincing there from the Titans. Where now you have fantastic player to kind of combo with Sugar Free, in Heesang, as he's been great on Tracer. We know how good the backline and Punk can be, right? So this is a Titans team that looks to be clicking at the right time. And I think they realize, the kind of moment they have here, where the Gladiators obviously on a downturn, and an opportunity for them to get to 500. I mean, they would be huge.
Punk really asserting himself on a Winston 4-1. Heesang deathless round with 4 final blows. Yaki, on the other hand, unable to make anything happen. I have to wonder, how well are Yaki, Kevster, and Marvel, able to play together? Because right now, they're not able to dispatch any targets. Maybe find a pick at the start of the fight, but it was because of Kevster's EMP on Punk. I mean, there's got to be more than that. There's got to be more coordination between these DPS.
Well, look, I mean, they've had a ton of time to play together, right? Yaki and Kevster. It's just bringing in a new tank and a new support. That's going to be the toughest thing, is Yaki tries to finish off Punk, but gets hit with a bio grenade, forced backwards.
Yeah, he would love to have pushed a little further forward there.
I mean, he's getting a lot of damage down, though. I mean,
inside the bubble, Stickies, yeah, that is pretty filthy. Sugar Free able to trade it out, though. Yaki really wants to get in and out cleanly, right? That's why we see the Nano given to the Echo so often. Offering himself up in a trade, I guess it's probably still favorable. You get rid of the tank. And the Gladiators are in control of the point right now, but very quickly the Titans will be looking to set up here. Nano for Marvel.
Slept instantly, as we'll see how they kind of deal with this. That's a biotic grenade, and he's going to have to jump back away from the point, so really no value out of that Nano whatsoever.
Puck goes overhead, not looking for Marvel though. Instead, the backline of the Gladiators is on the menu. Marvel struggling here. Can he get away? Not chased down by Heesang, but the rest of the Gladiators having to pull off the point for the time being, and his Nano's going to make things even worse. The Gladiators give ground, and the Titans decide to take even more.
Yeah, I mean, you just see the difference in terms of the value you get with the nano boost there, as Marvel gets the effects of it. He doesn't even go in, right? Maybe you're not even looking for a kill there, but at least start to build some damage towards a Primal Rage, right? He doesn't even get that. As he gets slept, pretty much does absolutely nothing with it. And then now on the other side, Punk gets the nano, and he puts in real work, right? 2 kills and builds up towards Primal.
Got a real finger on the pulse, does Punk. Very good at cutting off that of the Gladiators too in that previous fight. Might be letting time in moments. Yep, ready. Both supports hit by it there. And oh, the follow-up, Punky for 2. That is perfect. Great execution of the Sombra Tracer dive there by the Titans, and they'll extend their lead.
As they're just punishing them now, right? Like, play aggressive with this. Don't even allow them to kind of get to the point in that open space, because that's where the Echo can really thrive. So be interesting to see how the Titans play this now. I mean, you do have Rally in case things get a little bit dangerous, but Pulse Bump from Heesang would have loved to connect with one of the supports there. Would have bought you a lot of time.
A little wayward, but my goodness, Cal had been picked up by that. It would have been curtains for another 20-odd%. Well, Rally here. Punk unlikely to find a kill as
This is pretty good, though.
Get away. I mean, back to spawn with you? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, juggles them all the way back to spawn. I mean, they get really, I mean, Funny Astro keeps himself up, but just doesn't really provide any help to the rest of the team with the rally.
Yeah, force the rally out. No one's getting healed by it, like you mentioned. Marvel
Another
here.
Primal, another Nano on Marvel, yeah.
Bio instantly, but Faith was able to be found. Sugar Free, though, into the backline meantime. Probably combining with Punk, if I'm not mistaken. The Titans, again, looking comfortable in this round. Their dive fundamentals are just spot on, or at least when contrasted with those of the Gladiators. So no Nano. Funny Astro on the Lucio for speed.
Oh, and you lose Yaki. I mean, that's brutal, right? Because you're waiting for the supports to come back. But you may have one last shot at this.
There it is. Kepster delivers the Pulse. Punk out of the picture for now. Yaki switching to the Sombra before returning to the point. The Echo play really hasn't panned out outside that one kill we saw earlier in the round. Titans haven't given up the point quite yet. They may elect to do so here after losing Heesang.
Yeah, I mean, you lose Punk to a big pulse bomb there from Kepster, and then you lose Heesang towards the end of it. You may as well just give it up because, well, what do you want to do now, right? I mean, you can nano Punk here. You can nano Heesang. We've seen them, nano the Tracer a few times. You're also getting close to this EMP to combo with some of that.
Cheeky little buyer there. Kempster forced away. Crimson with the nano may not need a Kempster flattened. Yeah, I guess he recalled away, but had no mobility left after the fact because he might have had to double blink in the direction of Crimzo there. Here's that primal from Marvel. He's saying, giving it a wide berth now as the Titans have the numbers in place to attempt a cap here. Cal disintegrates. That EMP well placed. But now he's saying really wants to connect on this pulse one. They lost Sugar Free here. He's saying worried about the hack, having to recall out of it instead of blocking line of sight. Kesher a nuisance at the moment. Punk low, hack as he touched down. He wants to be able to build that primal, so he steps away. There is time to work with for the Titans, but it might get close.
I mean, and the Gladiators still obviously hold control of the point, right? So here's going to be the primal from Punk, just trying to keep this one going as getting very close. It's actually the point flips.
Cal didn't get it. No sound barrier for Cal. They might have a nano to deploy before they drop here. A lot of pressure on them, but they're able to find Punk. That's huge. Winston down. Here comes the rally from Fate now with only 4 players left. The Titans might have let this one slip. There's an EMP here for Yaki. He's waiting, biding his time. Lets it go, and Fate goes up in a puff of smoke. Translocates out because job done, and the Gladiators have managed to stay alive in this map. They'll have the numbers to the point now. It's going to be Punk switching over to the Doomfist. Sugar Free materializes dead before he dropped the ground, if I'm honest with you. Punk wants to buy a bit of time here again. Try and stay scarce of the bulk of this front load of damage. Get Sugar Free back into the fight would be big. Marvel picked off. There might be something here, man.
And Crimzo's coming back with a nano boost as well. I mean, this could be terrible here for the Gladiators.
Funny Astro backing away sheepishly. Cal finds Faith. What a huge pick from them just from playing inside that room. Getting the Lucio out of the picture is big, but now they're going to have to contend with the Doomfist. Crimzo's down. Yaki's starting to cut a swath through the back line of the Titans. But Punk has still not been felled. The healing, though, that's the issue. There's not enough of it here for Vancouver to hang on. Now they're just down to Sugar Free once more. Very rapidly does Faith throw himself at the point. It won't be enough. We'll have a third round.
I mean, they could have won that so much easier, I feel like, Mitch, because at one point, right, they're up to like 91% on the point, and everybody from the Gladiators like pushes off of it, and they end up giving the flip up at that time. So if you didn't have that flip kind of come into play, it's probably even a little bit cleaner there from the Gladiators to be able to take that second checkpoint.
A little bit frustrating for Vancouver, who are like 84, plays 40 at one point of the round. Funny Astro obviously switching over to Lucio because he required a burst of speed. Able to build a sound barrier and throw that in and help clutch that fight out. Real team effort from the Gladiators here, nothing too flashy. Punk is 11-5 on the Vancouver Titans side. 11 of 25 final blows for the Winston.
We'll see, actually, the Titans, they'll match this. So they'll actually have Heesang on the Echo here and allow Sugar Free to play the Tracer. So Echo is pretty strong, I know, on this point, and on this, really Ilios in general, pretty strong on all the points if you wanted to run it. But this one in particular, we see a good amount of Echo.
Yaki playing fairly safely for the time being. It's tough to split your attention between the tank and the other Echo because you know that opposite number of yours.
Marvel really low.
Yaki didn't have a chance to really put any of that kind of pressure on Punk, and as soon as he touches down low enough, Sugar Free gobbles him up. Titans start with a huge opener.
Yeah, I don't know if Marvel actually got hit by it, but Funny Astro for sure did. It was a biotic grenade from Crimzo yet again. So Just feels like he's constantly able to connect with, multiple targets with those bios, really set up the rest of his team to be able to burn those players down pretty fast.
Like Jake said, when Crimzo is able to play aggressive, be assertive, and not be sort of kept under the thumb, that's when he can have his biggest impact. Yana, famous on the Zen in many ways. Just a really flexible, dynamic support player. Right, so Sugarfree playing the neutral here, and again, needs to keep tabs on Kevster most of the time. Try and deny some of these wrapping routes. I like the pulse there, but no connect. One comes out from Kevster, so both Tracers part with their ultimates. Crimzo playing in a position to keep Punk in his line of sight, and that's going to be a nano give it over to the Winston. Great sleep, though, from Cal as they drop off the edge. Backline is going to escape from the impending doom of Punk.
Yeah, but Punk just does a great job of just putting so much pressure on the Cal that they're not able to get any healing onto Marvel, and the point is Marvel's just taking huge chunks of damage. And look at the position that Punk kind of forced the supports down into, right down there by that hot tub. Have to wrap all the way back around, and they're going to get caught out too.
We watched a clip at length, maybe last week, I think, of Twilight, and a fight that was lost because Twilight actually opted to drop down from that high ground, but if you can force supports away from that position, it makes it really hard for their Winston to be aggressive because your sightline is so narrow. Your Winston can basically not really attack the opposite high ground after that.
I mean, has Marvel even, this is he's still building towards your first primal, right? I mean, at least I think. I mean, 85% of the point. I mean, it really has not been able to get anything going. Just been punished every time walking in.
The Titans just need to stick the landing. They almost had it in that previous round. They opened the door. The Gladiators took advantage. Sugarfree really dialed in here. A pulse to send Marvel on his way would be huge. To bring instead, perhaps no connection there again. He's saying with the Ana dupe, throws the Bionade. Cal affected by it, having to back away. Yaki with a Winston dupe here, and he's saying doesn't quite have the cooldowns as Ana. Throwing a little bit of free healing, free nano for a moment, like that.
I think actually it was the nano going over to Punk, but he dropped right as he got the benefits of it. At least it sort of looked like, where that's quite unfortunate, but the Gladiator is able to flip here. They had to use a few huge ultimates, right? Obviously no rally now, no primal, no duplicate, but feels like it was necessary to invest that. But if you're the Titans, right, you can nano Punk, send him in, right? He's been doing great once he gets the benefits of that. A nice sleep there from Crimzo. Yet again, they actually decided to nano Heesang.
Yaki just explodes. Heesang had eyes for the opposing Echo rather than the Winston. It's over. Absolutely over. Funny Astro gets crushed there by Sugarfree. He missed the pulse on him in the previous fight, but this time gets it done the old-fashioned way. Who's left here? No one can really stand up. Marvel can't even get through the choke. Sugarfree saw to that. It's just the Tracer, and Kevster can't keep it alive. Pretty strong start here for the Vancouver Titans. Couple of little issues, but if anything, that says that there is some fight left in this Gladiators team. They just can't convert.
Well, it just seems like there's a team in the Titans who have really kind of figured it out. They're just working so well together, and a team in the Gladiators who's close, right? But just a lot of changes trying to build back up.
Highlights here from the map of Ilios. See, we saw Heesang on Tracer at first. Sugarfree later on picking up the mantle as the Titans look to fold the Echo into their compositions. Here on well, look at this deficit the Gladiators faced. To their credit, they were able to bring the map back and win it.
Yeah, I mean, they played quite well, on well, but I got to say, Crimzo, I think, really kind of turned the tide, in this map. He was just being able to hit the sleep darts onto Marvel every single time as he's on the way in, I felt like, and then just the nano boost targets, right, changing it up, being able to kind of put Heesang in a position to do some big damage, or Punk to, like, isolate a high ground, and the biotic grenades, too. I mean, just a really strong map.
I got a revival of Heesang's career now, getting to shine. He's the star on top of the tree on this particular Titan squad. So far, so good for Vancouver here, looking pretty sharp, and the Gladiators very much a different story. They'll need to dig a little deeper here. What have they got left after 6 losses in a row? Well, stick around, we might find out. Might. That's it. Punky and the boys rolling out again, and a great start for this squad, the Vancouver Titans. Ah, kind of, right? I'm feeling
yeah, in the team hype video power rankings, that one's on the way up. I feel like.
Yeah, it's climbing for me. To be fair, in fact, it might be an instant here. It's hard to beat the Spitfire one though.
We Spitfire.
Yeah.
Oh.
That legacy, bro.
Yeah.
The leather-bound book. I'm about it.
Yeah, they're contracting me for the remix.
I'm here. I want the director's cut with Matt Morello. You love that mumble rap stuff, right? You should throw some bars in there. You know, I'm down.
Anyway. Hey, hit me up.
See, there you go. All right, Midtown is going to be our second map in this series for the Gladiators. Some glaring issues, I think, in that previous map, right? Still trying to put it together in terms of their dive. There were some moments, I think, where Kevster and Yaki able to show us a bit of what they're made of, but rarely are these happening in concert. Pretty discordant showing from this, I guess, recently revamped Gladiator squad.
And it doesn't feel like the positive things that happen are because of like good team player execution. It's just like, oh well, Kevster and Yaki are so talented, like they're just gonna go make a play, right? Where you're not gonna be able to beat, I think, teams that are just so well coordinated, like the Titans are right now.
I mean, it's pretty astonishing. I think the Gladiators, well, what was their record? It was pretty good, right? In the first couple of weeks, right? A pretty solid showing. I would say they're playing like a bottom 3 team right now. And it's probably, a little bit hard for the org, the fans, and also these players who are, Funny Astro, Kevster, Yaki, even Marvel, like rather storied.
So, I mean, they had a little bit of a tough stretch, first 4 games, right? They got 3-0'd by the Outlaws. They beat the Defiant. But then they beat the Mayhem, right? And then lose to the Reign. So you kind of like, hey, that Florida win, that's pretty good. They end up the next 2 games, though, playing against the Eternal, the Titans, who they actually beat 3-1 at the time, and then the Spitfire. But then, once they lose to the Justice, it's been all downhill from there.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see how that could set anyone on a spiral.
Get this. They 3-1. They 3-1 victory against the Spitfire at the beginning of the season. They just got 3-0'd by them the other day. Yeah. They beat this Titans team 3-1 earlier. They're already down 1-0.
That is such a sick nade. God, that is so good. Straight at the corner of the door there again. We're kind of getting excited lately about Arnis from the low ground, manufacturing these big opportunities with bio-nades. You've got to know the geometry, fam. Love that connection. Punk's just looking for, he dropped the quarter, he's just looking for that, don't worry about it.
So, man, Crimzo, I mentioned it on Ilios, but just having a pretty elite start to this series is
so good.
It's going to be, are they even going to be able to contest here? It looks like, Yaki was actually just kind of playing around there in the backline, but no, that's going to be a point A take really fast there for the Titans.
So you talked about how the Gladiators, right, the positive things that happen often as a result of making a play. I mean, that happens every fight for someone on the Vancouver Titans, right? It's not enough just to have these individuals that can make a play. It's that consistency in executing your game.
He got hit with a bio in again, man.
Yeah. Yep, straight away, Marvel. You saw how quickly their health went down. Cal, all they can do is sort of look on and go, well, okay. And the window, I think, between Marvel getting bioed and actually dying was so short anyway that it didn't even matter. There were like 3 people involved in that elimination. Marvel disintegrates. Marvel is not...
You're in a lot of trouble here if you're the Gladiators. If you allow this card to get like under the bridge and even nearing that first corner as Marvel kind of gets up to the high ground now. I mean, they have EMP Nano on the other side. I mean, look how far away the supports are playing. Like, can you even get? I mean, if you EMP this, who's following this up? I mean, look how far you have to move.
Yaki didn't get Crimzo with that EMP. I think he was really trying to line him up. But what does Crimzo do, Matt? He just EMPs, he just nanos Faith. Faith definitely is going to die there. And all of a sudden, Vancouver Titans are still good to go. Marvel sticks around a little longer there. Look where the card is. Look at that already through that underpass.
So we didn't get a chance to see it, but actually, I know Sugarfree, when he was going in for his EMP, actually gets slept by Cal there. So really nice play as Sugarfree comes out of that, uses EMP, but dies instantly, and then they finish off Heesang. So pretty nice play from the Gladiator support.
Good turnaround there, and I think Sugarfree EMPing, game over. All right, from this high ground here, the Gladiators still want to play, of course. Punk in that corner, Nano for Marvel. So he's heading in the direction of the Titans, but Faith does have the rally. Marvel can't really kill anyone right now, so heads back home instead and decides to try and slow Punk down. Punk looks for that backline. Funny Astro going to pop the rally here. So both teams, Brig Ultimate's getting forced by opposing Winstons. Marvel now sleeps it up, but the Titans are starting to solidify this high ground control, and the Gladiators looking to try and rectify that. They really want to kick them off this vantage point. Kessel's pulse there. That's danced away from by Crimzo.
Yeah, Sugar Free getting very close. We're going to get EMPs from both sides, it looks like, coming up here shortly. So, see with the Titans controlling that high ground, they can kind of maybe just jump down there to the back line, use that.
Yeah, Marvel went to the high ground, but really just put himself in line of sight of Cal. EMP for Yaki. Yields the kill on Heesang. Now, do the Titans just wait this out? Do they try and make something happen? With Punk bioed, he'll have to give ground.
Yeah, they try to hold on to that high ground, but when Punk gets hit with that bio, they have to back up. But maybe now they can actually make something out of this, right? You know, but Crimzo's got this nano. They can nano now onto Punk. He gets hacked there, bubble down from Punk to keep him alive. But you have a nano plus this EMP.
Sugar Free just trying to...
Oh, they're just going to kill Marvel.
Ah, Marvel! Oh! I love that. You can see the cogs turning in his head. First, he was thinking about the back line. What he can do? Oh, they've given up the checkpoint. They've given up the checkpoint. Yep, that happened. That's brutal. I mean, Marvel probably was like the closest player to the action, and the rest of the Gladiators got forced back as the follow-up came in from the Titans dive, man. It's not even that egregious, really. It's just brutal.
I think Marvel was slept as well. I think he was going to the high ground, got slept, and then they just decided, hey, let's just EMP him and just finish him off. That's unfortunate because the Gladiators had Primal and Nano there, right? So you figure they would have been able to stall that for a very long time.
Marvel biting. Oh, again.
It's got to get out.
No, there is...
Oh, no, Primal to live.
Primal! That is so brutal. And what do you do, really? Heesang was ready for Marvel to drop down and away, chase him down, because that biotic grenade, man, that ability, Bionade, really decides these team fights right now. When you got someone as good as delivering it, as Crimzo is, it's going to be a tough match to win.
I mean, it seems like he gets insane value on every single one, right? Every fight, we're just kind of like, oh, like a huge, you know, whether it's a 1 or 2 player biotic grenade that kind of forces them back. Oh, see, Crimzo actually gets hacked here, but Fate does a nice job keeping him alive, and they take Aoyaki.
I like that bubble placement there from Punk. Would have allowed Heesang to actually get close without being slept. This enough to set up a pulse, but Punk a little too far forward. Oh, the nano has to be used there on Kevster. Right. He's lit up now like a Christmas tree. Quick little left tap there from Faith as the stun came in, and Kevster is...
Does he get stunned like out of pulse bomb? It looked like the pulse bomb didn't even blow up. As funny Astro now pops rally is they want to like maybe chase a little bit here, but...
That is quite possible. We see him throw the arm, but I don't actually see the projectile.
Yeah, I didn't see the projectile, and I didn't see the impact.
Yeah, entirely possible. Pulse jacks, brutal. All right, Punk getting out here. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left of the round. Heesang went for a pulse there, no good. EMP from Sugar Free. Kevster was the one caught in the web there. Now the Titans encroach once more. Oh, Heesang took a face full of damage as he tried to walk up there. Great job by Cal as well with the final blow. Primal Rage here from Punk. He wants to commit. Knows they're down a player, but they were able to trade at the very least. Crimzo maybe a nano if required for Punk. He's under quite a lot of pressure here, and he lets it go. Nano for Winston once more.
Man, they're just putting a lot into Punk right now to try and put pressure on this back line as Yaki goes with the EMP, but they're not able to follow it up. At least right now it looks like, oh, there it is. Kevster gets back into the fight and able to take out both supports there. So, I know when they try and put, you know, all those resources into Punk, and Punk, you know, he jumps into the back line, gets Primal, jumps back up, gets the Nano, still not able to take out the supports of the Gladiators, but on the other side, Yaki and Kevster do some work.
Kevster having a great map. Heesang's really gone off the boil here. Hasn't found a final blow for the entirety of Midtown, and frankly, neither has Punk. Both those players have been really quiet. It's actually Sugar Free and Crimzo, the only players with final blows for the Titans right now. It's been a real grind for this team. And there's only been a total of 15 final blows in this map so far in general. Titans struggling to break through.
Oh man, Crimzo, I mean, he is hacked somehow.
He doesn't care.
Keeping him alive. I mean, that is crazy. As Marvel gets out with like 46 HP.
Oh, yeah, he's been getting the thin mints from Faith the entire time. He's good. All right, now here for Marvel. Slept hacked. Funny Astro in trouble here, Cal.
The Sugar Free's built up the EMP fast.
There it is, Heesang finally with a final blow on the board, and it's a good one. Getting rid of the bring is big, but Kevster is able to trade it back, really starting to find consistency on Midtown. Hack for Sugar Free. Thinks otherwise, but it has an EMP to deliver here now, and he'll maybe wait for the Gladiators to converge on his position. That's pretty good coverage. Marvel and Kevster both caught. The latter still able to deploy a pulse bomb. Punk respecting it now. The rally popped by Funny Astro There's a Primal Rage on the horizon for the Titans, but that's all they're going to have to work with, and the EMP's going to shut it down, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, he jumps in. He doesn't even get a chance to get the Primal off as the EMP just comes out from Yaki. It's so good, but can they pick up the rest of these kills to finish these players off? So it looks like Heesang Sugar Free still around.
Heesang got defensive Bionade there, just dancing with that extra heal boost. Marvel may have extended further into the back line of the Titans than he otherwise should have. Heesang still alive. Actually recalling away from the seismic slam impact from Marvel.
At all.
They can't kill him. He's been giga-pocketed right now by Crimzo in the backline, and Marvel's in deep trouble. The jump from Punk. He's back in the fight again. Crimzo just chilling on the vestiges of this battlefield, and Punk is in the thick of it. That is disgusting.
Bro, that is nuts. I mean, they keep Heesang and Sugar Free alive for what feels like forever. I mean, I think Faith is there, but we definitely know for sure Crimzo is there. Some biotic grenades coming in there, hitting Heesang, hitting a few other people. But man, I mean, that is one where you feel like you kind of get what you want there. You get the big EMP onto Punk when he has Primal, and then you have a huge opportunity to be able to kind of finish it off there, and they don't get rid of the Tracer or the Sombra.
And over 10k healing there for Crimzo. 4-1, by the way. Only player with more final blows to him was Sugar Free. The guy's pretty good. The guy is really, really nasty over this map. 3 sleeps. Crucial, many of those quite crucial ones here. But a better showing, I think, overall from the Gladiators defensively. Kevster is able to get ticking in a big way. He goes 6-2. And crucially, like a lot of these situations where he finds one or both backliners, that's been big. Here's your Cal versus Crimzo head-to-head. This really illustrates, I think, more than anything, Crimzo's ability to set up teamfight wins with these Bionades. Yeah,
and Cal's had a pretty good map. They've been pretty impactful, right? Some big sleeps we've seen. Obviously not dying a ton, right? But just the biotic grenades, I mean, just coming through from Crimzo, I mean, they just seem to be so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that 3 of those Bionade kills may have come in the first fight, but there was, I mean, it's not about the kills you get from, it's about the positioning you force out of the enemy Winston, for example. Or if you're playing aggressively, right, yeah, to set up these really easy dives for someone like Punk. All right, Gladiators now. Their shot to put their best foot forward. Cal heading towards the train car, sees Crimzo. Warning shots fired, Bionade even thrown in there. I like the challenge, but Cal is a little separate from their team.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Funny Astro is like with him, right? As he's on the low ground, is sleep onto Marvel. Gets hit with a nade, he'll back up. Just kind of wait as they got to get Cal back in the fight before they even consider doing anything.
Yeah. Kind of see the idea. Cal maybe thought they didn't have a great sightline playing from that low ground there. Going in, giving a Crimzo a tickle may have gotten them killed ultimately. All right, Gladiators here, push forward, but the Titans decide to create a perimeter behind them. Punk, Hale, and Hardy as always, as Crimzo is untouched in this back corner. Recall there, I think translocate out rather from Sugar Free. Bionade does connect with Funny Astro.
Yeah, nobody can get there to finish him off though. Heesang wins the Tracer duel over Kevster there. I like how the Titans are playing defense, right? You kind of put the supports in this back corner, let them come in, and with how disjointed the Gladiators have been, right? Give them more opportunity to be disjointed.
Crimzo's him. Himzo is on the march.
I knew you were going to say it as soon as you said it. I was like, it's just too free. It's not even... Like young Griff could have came up with that one. I mean,
listen, economy's rough out there, bro. If it's free, I'm taking it. I got no shame about that.
Himzo,
5-1, just quietly. I'm all about it. I have my big foam hand with Crimzo #1 on there.
I start to worry here for the Gladiators if you don't get big value out of this EMP coming up.
There it is. EMP Marvel works a treat this time again. Rest of the Vancouver Titans feel pretty comfortable despite having lost Heesang there. Kev still wins out that Tracer duel on the periphery.
So, I'm interested how Yaki uses his, right? Because the supports are playing so far back. Okay, that'll be the EMP, and they deal with Crimzo really fast. So that is a good use of it. Looks like Faith in a really rough spot on the point does not have his rally, but it is Punk with a Primal. He's going to take out Funny Astro.
Yeah, curious to how you convert from this though. You can't really get inside the fire station. Yeah, eventually Kevster will drag you down Still, upwards of 2.5 minutes.
I think you can come back to the point though here. If you're the Titans, right? Do you have an opportunity to get like a nano here and maybe get a touch? Do you decide to give it up? I think they have the ability to nano here.
Kimzo and Heesang, what a combo. Here we go for the point. No one touching Heesang for the time being, but there is that rally in play. Heesang can't do too much, but just keep a decent distance from the opposing backline. Marvel, under a decent amount of pressure, it has to back away and give some ground. You were right, Matt. The Vancouver Titans able to come back in, buy some time with the nano boost. Heesang again, hungry for this 1 versus 1.
And 40 seconds left on the clock, and Yaki extremely low. Marvel hit with a biotic grenade as well. And Sugar Free just building towards this EMP so fast as they may be in a position here where they're just gonna have to walk into the Titans EMP.
25 seconds left in the round. Here comes Marvel straight over the top and into the fight, but Sugar Free decided to pull the plug there for whatever reason. Manual hack on Marvel. Able to get it off. Still, they've got to be careful. That point is getting ticked up pretty quickly. It's time to stick it. Marvel lands on the ground, gets natted up, the EMP comes in, but how is he going to stay alive through this? Everybody turns and looks at him. 4 players involved in that elimination. And now Sugar Free's going to wrap around the backside. Yaki, no. Waggle that finger. No follow-up there for that EMP as the Gladiators were already backing away from Punk as he pushed into them. For the Vancouver Titans, it's a convincing win on Midtown. Los Angeles Gladiators, their woes continue to deepen.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really tough run here for the Gladiators. They get pretty close to taking checkpoint A, but they have to walk directly into that sugar-free EMP that is just set up perfectly. Even though they do get the nano onto Marvel, he gets hit with a biotic grenade yet again, so not able to make it out with his life, and everything just kind of falls apart from there.
Look at that. Oh, it's just... Funny Astro had the shield down as well. No chance. And the follow-up instant, right? Sugar Free there, hack on Marvel. He's hacked and bioed, and all of a sudden, Cal, Funny Astro stuck in the train cart. Looking like something out of Snowpiercer. Completely run down.
I mean, dude, and think about how close they were to getting a hold on defense, right? And just, they were not able to deal with Heesang. It's just, you know, they just have so much individual skill, you know, the Gladiators, and you can see it at times. They're just not able to put it together.
Marvel gets nanoed here, and it's just still not enough. Actually, later on, in fact, it happens. But Sugar Free, as soon as Marvel makes that dive on multiple occasions, hits the EMP. Sloppy showing from the Gladiators so far. The Vancouver Titans looking to make this a quick affair. Route 66 is up next, and you better hope we see a little bit more from the Gladiators. They look woozy.
one cannot come through, but now Shine's
funny Astro.
That is the delay tactics widely dealt
In a 4v5, oh, not quite so much anymore. Kevster dishing out the damage.
This is giving me vibes of Florida against the Atlanta Rain.
What? That is dirty.
A rough return here, just kind of getting bullied.
Yep, that was a good shot. Oh, wave hello, maybe goodbye to the rest of your team, Decay, because Lastro's on the field, Nano Zen just to keep him alive.
Well, if the Gladiators are in free fall now, you'd best believe that the Vancouver Titans are more than happy to give them a little push over the edge. What a brutal couple of maps from this team. A team that up until a few weeks ago was considered a real legitimate contender here in the Western region. Right now they're looking anything but as the Titans take them to task map after map.
Yeah, I mean, you would have looked at this Gladiators team a few weeks ago with some of their wins and actually kind of considered them like, hey, this is a team that can go pretty far. But, you know, right now, I mean, it is... it's been looking pretty brutal, right? I mean, they have moments, but still not able to put it together, especially against teams, you know, that we've seen them kind of beat in the past, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you were talking about how their season started, right? Yeah, they dropped matches to these sort of top teams, and we're like, okay, Atlanta's fair. I mean, they beat Mayhem even in the Pro-Am, right? They looked quite competitive, you know, on plenty of occasions. Now, I mean, again, team looking very different, right? We obviously, you know, Cal been brought in, Babel seeing less time right now, Marvel obviously replacing Dante, and that was a pretty impromptu replacement as far as we can tell. And I'm pointing my finger right there in the middle of the screen because, you know, Marvel looks very exploitable right now, particularly the Titans. I mean,
yeah, but you're also
like, oh,
you know, it's a tough spot too because he's coming into a roster with a obviously new support player in the mix, right? And then Kevster and Yaki are kind of like DPS who like to play a little bit more like on their own, I would say, in a way. Like, so it's like really difficult, I think, I know, for Marvel and his type of situation here coming into this team. I don't think it's a really easy kind of spot to slot into.
No, I mean, it's probably it's the most challenging role right now. You have to go straight in there and, you know, you don't have much time to settle. I would say that it's only on rare occasion that we are able to see the Gladiators execute their dive properly or even well. There are some cases where I'm bored with Yaki and he's trying to set up an EMP, and hey, sometimes you EMP a Brig and then they get nano by Ana.
How much is that?
It was actually really good.
How much of it is Crimzo and how much of it is Marvel, though? I mean, Crimzo's been hitting, it feels like, every biotic grenade and every sleep dart.
Yes, I mean, I assumed, like, from the Winston's perspective, there's probably ways that you want to play to try and mitigate, like, how punishable you are by something like that. But yeah, like, a world-class Ana, I mean, we've seen it every time Atlanta, Boston, or any of these teams with top Ana players play. It can really, really interrupt you. I mean, that's obviously something for Cal definitely to aspire to try and limit Punk's impact, because that first map, he was like 7-1, 11 final blows by the end of it, really. You know, getting to kind of do whatever he wanted to, so.
And also, it doesn't help the Gladiators with this meta, right? Where, no, at least for most teams, right? This kind of dive with the Tracer Sombra, like, you need to be extremely well coordinated, where it does not seem to be the case.
Then start here for Faith, perhaps anticipating a slower composition from the defenders.
No, I think it's just the ability to maybe just get like a early pick off on a flanker, you know, the Discord possibility. I don't think we're gonna see him on this long, but
are they doubling down on the punish Marvel play?
Nah,
it's good cheer. Fair enough.
I think that is more get a Sonic. Oh, I mean, that is filthy stuff.
Oh man, Crimzo just not.
He's also, I mean, you know, I know, obviously trying to be fair to Marvel, but he's also outside of his bubble there, right? I mean, he's got his you know, bubble down, and then just kind of as soon as he moves out of it, it's a you know, fairly
You've got to be pretty spot on. But this is what I'm saying. Like, there are, like, I assume there are ways to play to make yourself less punishable by an Ana like that, right? Staying inside your bubble, maybe one of the more obvious ones. I'm sure there's like a whole host of them here. That's brutal stuff, right? Like losing a Winston every time he goes in. Really tough,
right, like,
sort of bounce back.
Cal actually hits a biotic grenade on the Punk there, and Punk actually gets really low. There's just no follow-up.
Yeah. Well, already the Gladiators were short-handed, so, you know, all bets kind of off at that point. Marvel again on the retreat. Chased down by Punk. Already an EMP here for Sugar Free now, so maybe the Nano Marvel might be an issue. Kev's has been picked up by Heesang, but yeah, Crimzo down for the Titans here. This is pretty scary for Vancouver. Well, they still went for an EMP though, and okay, they're able to find the entire backline as a result of it there. A big fight happening on the far side of Big Earl. Sugar Free and Faith emerged, bloodied but victorious. The Vancouver Titans get that first checkpoint.
And because you know, Sugar Free controls that health pack inside of Big Earl's, you know, Marvel just trying to play inside of that, maybe get the health pack, keep it going, get that primal. He just gets hacked from behind and then also not able to heal himself up. So pretty good point A take here for the Titans, as you know, they're rolling right now.
Punk won't be allowed to just set up here on top of the saloon. So they know primal is up thanks to Yaki's little hack.
If you didn't see the records on top of the screen, what would what would you think this kind of matchup is between?
Oh my goodness!
Like it doesn't feel like these teams like have the same record with the performance we've seen thus far.
Yeah, I would expect teams much further apart. I just want to point out there, Kevster and Yaki combining nicely for that Crimzo kill. They were both there, ready to go. They managed to find that pick off, which means that Punk can only get heal packed. Yes, not enough. Great work for the Gladiators.
And they have the capability to do it, right? I mean, if you were like, oh man, like you put together a damage dealing lineup and you saw somebody actually had like Kevster Yaki, you'd be like, oh man, that should be pretty sick, right? It's just you know, maybe combining a little bit less than you'd expect.
Follow up on the EMP though was good. Now the Gladiators going to have to win their fights via other means until Yaki's ready to go again. Okay, Primal and Nano layered here. Punk juggling Cal, and Funny Astro can't keep them up. So now with the Ana out of the picture, life is much harder for Marvel. Fortunately, Marvel has Primal here, so can sort of hang on in lieu of that extra support, but Funny Astro is down. So no healers whatsoever for the Gladiators and the EMP. A lot committed in this fight for the Vancouver Titans, but the car was moving much of the time and it's getting awful close to that checkpoint.
I mean, Cal did all they could, right, to stay alive, and Funny Astro there to help as well. It's just, I mean, nobody's gonna live through that, right? I mean, but you're being juggled by the Winston. You got the Sombra there as well as Kevster jumped down, get a touch. Yaki almost got a hack from behind here on the Keysang.
The only ult the Titans have in this fight. Fate's going to pop that rally, and Cal is already taken down. Oh, they barrel into this room on the high ground. Eventually, Marvel's able to find the Primal here, but so much has already been lost by the Gladiators that ultimately it just buys him a little bit of extra time. Imagine if he's able to make use of that, as the Titans are trying to bully their way into the Gladiators formation. Instead, they lose Cal, they lose Funny Astro early.
Yeah, and I mean, Faith is in there, and he's got a rally going. You have your Winston in there as well, and then also a few players got hit with a bio that Crimzo kind of chucked on in there. So not going to be able to keep the supports up through that. And it's been a rough show in here as the Titans looking really strong.
And it's a 1-for-2 trade, favoring Titans in terms of ultimates and a fight win as a result, which is just so huge for tempo here. The Gladiators now, again, we're looking for another EMP where at least Kevster and Yaki can turn up when they need to on time. Sugar Free kind of spotted as he's making his way around the periphery, but Yaki is mostly unconcerned about that, I suggest.
This is a little bit harder though. Like, think about how many different things you can line of sight here in this part of the map, right? Like doorways and stuff. It's not as clear cut getting a big EMP off.
Yeah, you want to get close to the supports if you're going to EMP them, but that puts you at risk of being detected or even fully revealed if they're able to hit you. So Yaki's got a problem to solve here.
Like, he'd almost rather, and the supports are doing a great job for the Titans, like, not even really kind of playing out here in the open, like, pushing the cart, right? Playing so far away.
Pretty brazen the way that Yaki's playing here. Kind of reveals himself for a second with that hack, and then actually starts firing his weapons. So the Titans, though, they were just waiting for an opportunity to get these ults up. Now they've got them, Matt. They walked into this fight with nothing. They've built basically everything here, and Funny Astro is in trouble. Great hack, though. Defensive use of EMP by Yaki. Sugar Free explodes. Punk uses the Primal here, but it's unlikely to convert this into much of the aggressive side of things. Marvel is down, so maybe Punk just says, we're just going to move the card if we can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is entirely over, right? Because Sugar Free's going to come back. That's going to be Funny Astro using his rally to stay up, but Sugar Free's going to be able to come back here in the fight here in a second, and you're going to have Punk's rally, and you're going to have Fate's rally active here too.
Yeah, they don't focus Marvel down though. It's Funny Astro with the nano boost, and they try and look to him after hitting with the EMP. So target prioritization after the EMP for the Titans wasn't wasn't fantastic, but they waited out. They find Funny Astro. They descend upon him from the high ground after he got hit with a bio nade, and Punk just heads back to his team after getting hit by a bio himself. A lot of damage though, and I don't think his healers have the bandwidth to get him back to full for the time being, but he's able to help mitigate the impact of Marvel's Primal Rage. That has now expired. Here come the Titans once more, and you'll notice that Punk is struggling to be healthy in these fights, and Faith is even throwing those heal packs at him, but he's afraid to get too close.
They're trying to farm this nano. Crimso's got nano yet again here, so I mean, Punk doing a nice job just juggling in and out, staying alive, but he's going to get the benefits of the nano here shortly.
Nice whip job though from Funny Astro, keeping Punk away. He'll just sit there with Cal. So Punk now needs to return to the point itself to try and make something happen. Very good defensive rotations for the Gladiators. They've got a good feel for the game at the moment. Kevster though taking a licking at medium range, but Yaki's EMP could be a backbreaker. The Gladiators also have accrued most of these key ultimates. First, it's going to be a nano over to Marvel. Yaki spotted there. I think both he and Sugarfree cross like ships in the night. And Yaki doesn't need to use it right now. The Titans are slowing it down again.
No, it'll be an EMP for both sides. Punk, though, getting much closer here towards this Primal Rage as he's been able to go into the backline, put down some damage, just not able to finish off some of these kills.
He's like trying to find the kill on Kevster, EMP on Marvel. 3 players on the Titans hit with it, though. It's going to be a trade. Winston for Tracer, and I think if you're the Titans, you like it a lot. Punk looks to head into the back corner, but realizes there's no follow-up for him right now. He's actually keeping Cal out of spawn for the time being. Great positioning from Punk, enabling that kill when the follow-up finally came in towards that Ana. Yaki out of the picture now as well. Funny Astro barely alive, heading back into spawn, and it's a whip shot finisher for Faith off the top rope, and the Titans get the map done with time to spare.
You know, not terrible for the Gladiators there at the end, right? I mean, 3 minutes plus, it felt like, to take the final point there for the Titans, and they hold all the way until 9 seconds on the clock, but Vancouver does a great job on point A and point B, giving themselves a ton of time here towards the end.
Yeah, that last minute or so of play, these two teams were more evenly matched, I think, that we've seen across the entire series. They really...
Right?
Yeah. Like, Ayaki was extremely disciplined. When he built those EMPs, he sat there on the cart saying, right, well, the Titans have backed off. They're trying to charge out. Now, I will say, the Gladiators did not go aggressive on defense there, generally. They kind of tried to, counter dive, counter EMP the Titans, but it worked quite well as Vancouver weren't, quite able to follow up on a couple of those sugar-free EMPs. I quite like that defensively from the Gladiators. I want to see that same coordination now when they actually have to set a time.
Yeah, I think my worry here is the Gladiators getting rolling here at the start. I think the Titans are going to play pretty aggressive. We've seen how good they are, just kind of like rotating out. Everybody on the Titans does a really nice job, it feels like, of just playing their life, staying alive. They're going to be very difficult to dislodge from here, I feel like.
Alan Punk looking to trade some bars here. Cal's memory failing them though, the crucial juncture. Here we go, 9 seconds on the clock after map completion from Vancouver. The Gladiators opt into a Reinhardt setup here. Oh my goodness, they take a lot of damage coming out that door. Cal, well, didn't make it alive, but Marvel in the back line.
Yeah, nice plays. They get the TP up to the high ground there. With the Reinhardt, they just can run down Crimzo. There's nothing he can do. Yes, Cal taking credit for that one as a set play, as that definitely worked. Not sure what you do here.
You wait for 3.
Yeah, let's take a look here. I'm curious.
He's out of this position. Anyone got to get Acme? Oh, okay. He's saying love that. Maybe that's, you had the triple blink to get out of there. So I don't know if it's like a set route. Thought you need like an Acme inflatable ladder. I like it. He's saying no. Doing too much in the last few moments outside of giving us a bit of a jump scare.
This is a pretty decent start though for the Gladiators, right? I mean, you got a fight win early on, you got the payload moving a little bit, now you give yourself an opportunity to attack the top of Big Earls.
You would have liked to convert it into a little bit more than this, but they have that vantage point to play from. Sugarfree is way ahead of the EMP generation though, Matt. Despite the Gladiators winning that first fight, they had to switch, right? Hurts a roll economy. Vancouver not quite sticking the landing there, but it came to follow up on that EMP, but Kevster comes in, and Crimso, the most important part of their comp, is down. He's saying at least he's able to follow up with a kill on Cal, so much the same being inflicted, but has to give up his life to do so.
Yeah, it feels like Kevster coming alive a little bit here in our series as Sugarfree gets really low, as Yaki's able to chase him down. As I think Crimso back in the action, but Now, without your Sombra, it's going to be quite tough here, especially as Yaki's getting close to that EMP.
Yeah, the Gladiators now approaching a peak in Ultimate Economy by contrast with the Titans. Straight away, Marvel goes in. This time it's good. Juggling the Titans for fun here. Backline flattened Vancouver. No reason to commit here. They're going to have to give this one up entirely. Very good for the Glads.
Yeah, very good, especially because they don't have to use EMP, right? I know Yaki obviously has to switch because he's playing the Mei early on, so doesn't get it as fast, but didn't need to invest it here in point A to be able to take it. That gives you a huge opportunity in this open area to be able to use to get a fight win.
Surely you got to go fast here, right? Got to get that EMP, ideally on Crimzo again. Just come on in with Marvel. Follow up on Yaki's setup. Gladiators, yep, getting Yaki in position now.
So we'll see if he can connect the... I don't think he's going to get both supports.
Yep,
here.
got both.
Oh, yeah, he got both.
Crimzo didn't quite have his nano up either, but this is great for the Gladiators. Fantastic tempo. Now they're putting it together. Both backliners are down. The Titans are just going to have to let this one pass.
Yeah, now the Gladiators are rolling. I mean, this is what you thought they would be, though, right? I mean, the talent on this team is so strong, and it's
so there, right?
Well,
Just like, there.
I mean, it's there sometimes, but, you know, we know these players have been obviously in the league in the past, right? Cal knew, but we've seen his the performances from Cal have been pretty good. But we've seen these players succeed, you know, in all different roles on different teams, and just have not been able to put it together here.
Yaki with the manual hack here on Crimzo. Oh, perfect. Follow-up's good. He's able to win the duel against Kevster, though, so a bright spot for the Titans in this fight, but they enter it now without their Ana. Punk realizes there's not much to do here, really. May as well get out, get back to safety before the clapback comes in.
Yeah, they've done a much better job at really punishing Crimzo as something.
Marvel just forced rally?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, actually, Faith ends up using Rally there in that back corner. I think he was able to biotic grenade here from Cal as well. I'm trying to stay alive, man. I mean, the pressure's crazy.
I mean, the EMP, if there's any sort of follow-up right, I think you're basically dead to rights. Marvel doing a great job here,
nice
causing problems. Kevster, yeah, finding Crimzo, of all people. The primal rage from Marvel here. They're set up, the Gladiators, to head into the next phase of the map with almost 4 minutes of time. Someone needs to get on the card, ideally, but eventually they'll double back. Kevster completes the kill on Faith now. The road is almost clear for the Gladiators. They have this ridiculous lead coming towards the end of the map.
Dude, it feels like Kevster feels like it's been dominant here. That's going to be the nano that actually goes on to Punk. As they're just trying to keep fighting this. You know, they can give you the Titans, right? You completed the map, trying to burn as much clock as possible. As kill there on a Heesang is Kevster just really going uncontested on the card.
Yeah, here's the EMP. This should get the job done. Faith, Punk both down. And that's another checkpoint coming up for the Gladiators. 3 minutes to play. And yeah, it doesn't just feel like Kevster's dominating Matt. He is. 12 final blows, 4 deaths for Kev. He's starting to kick into high gear now.
I mean, he is he loves to compete, right? So, I mean, you come in on a 6-match losing streak, you know, you're down 0-2. I mean, you expect Kevster to turn up in a big way. A few good pulse bombs from him so far. Has another one here, potentially, for Crimzo.
Sank, 9-6 so far. Solid showing. Again, expectations for the Titans are high coming into this map, and they've let things slip a little bit here. No guarantee, of course, the Gladiators finish the map, and the Titans can tighten things up. They'll be in good stead. Defensive Ionade thrown at the ground there by Cal. Gonna give Funny Astro time to build that rally up, and no support ultimates forced by Punk, and he's in trouble.
Oh, I thought he was so dead. I mean, it's just so weak as Cal and Funny Astro doing a fantastic job keeping each other alive. As I say that, it is Sugar Free coming in with a big EMP, and it's going to be the rally from Funny Astro. They feel like they can still win this.
Faith died during rally there as well. Matty couldn't make it happen. Hit by that EMP midway through, but Crimzo to the rescue. Yaki out of the picture now. A couple of members here still for the Gladiators, able to send the car forward a bit. But the spawn advantage is going to favor the Titans now as Punk's back on the scene.
And if you're the Titans, it's just about burning clock, right? Already at 1:33 here. I think winning this next fight, giving yourselves an opportunity to kind of battle through this EMP that'll come through from Yaki would be huge.
I think Punk wanted Cal there, but he's not going to get him. Goes all the way back to this backside of the map, but able to shake off that Bionade. Yeah, Cal, that was standing well back, a bit of layering with Funny Astro about 5 meters ahead of them. Punk couldn't get through. Oh, he's okay.
I mean, that is
Kevin's
brutal.
following up.
I mean, and you have your EMP here as well. This should be an opportunity here for the Gladiators. That's going to be a sleep up Marvel during Primal Rage, and he gets hacked.
Yeah, hacked in Primal here with a bio, but the card's getting awful close here. Punk's gone down, so Vancouver, their tank faring much worse. This EMP, how do you get to the card? Pulse Bomb? Yep, gonna be dodged away from there. No dice for Heesang. Sugarfree trying to step back out again. He gets picked off by Kevster, but the Gladiators are pulling back. 35 seconds left, but soon enough, they're looking to push back in. Pulse here for Punk, has to be a Primal. Heesang's able to find Marvel, though. There's only one Winston on the map. Bionade on Punk, he's taken down. Kevster finishes the job. But Faye's going to set up on the card, pops the rally. And look, there goes Heesang straight past Funny Astro. He's looking for some backline action, but he gets stunned up by the shield bash and hit with the Bionade. Great turn by Funny Astro, not one to be ignored. But as the smoke clears, just 5 seconds separate these two teams.
Yes, the Gladiators clutch up in the end. I actually think Heesang gets hit with a sleep dart there from Cal, and then the finish there by Funny Astro. But for a second there, Mitch, I was getting kind of flashbacks of Midtown, right? Where Heesang was just on the cart, keeping it going. You lose a few players to the Gladiators, you have to back up, but they battle back. They're still in this series.
I mean, it was good to see the Gladiators find some form there towards the end of that round. Again, I mean, they had about 3 minutes headed into that last phase of the map. It's hard to penetrate for even the best teams, but Kevster is, yeah, very close to Fletter Deadlift territory. 16 of 33 final blows here. Really, really impressive showing. Gotta say, Cal, 6 enemies slept here. Some really clutch ones as well, as Punk has struggled to find, I guess, as many of those final blows as he was over the first couple of maps. Only 7 deaths to his name.
Yes, see now if the Titans have a little bit of a set play. I think the Gladiators, right? You had that set play to get things going before. It's definitely going to make the Titans second guess playing that far up on defense. But see here the Gladiators on defense first, and no, the Titans. I don't think they'll have anything kind of funny to bring out.
No, maybe, yeah, like Faith out the gate for a moment, sends a salvo, then switches back to the Brigitte. Okay, Sim. For the high ground here, but Sugarfree doesn't find. Hey, he's saying, what is that about?
Oh.
Okay, all right.
So we're getting a little wheels mode action here.
The wheels mode. That's canon at this point. Punk! Okay, I think that was a Bionade from Cal. Great setup. Kevster, though, like clockwork's able to finish the job here. 35 seconds left for Vancouver, and they're going to have to pull off the card.
Yeah, they've been doing a much better job on following up on, whether it's the sleeps from Cal, the biotic grenades. It's really made a huge difference here.
Kevster there, whip shot in midair. Crimson.
What?
Oh my god. That's a gangster, man.
The family sends a regards, baby. Now with 3 players left to work with, the Gladiators are getting the heck out of here.
Got a fish head sent to his door, right?
It's like a horse head under the pillow for you.
For the Godfather. So man, he just that is actually Punk just getting right on top of Cal, and then Crimzo just putting a shot into him as the damage from that Ana at range. As we are in OT now, so a big biotic grenade that's gonna make Punk really low, and he's not gonna be able to make it out with his life.
Yeah, no way he's escaping. Cal has really picked up on that approach now, being able to stave off Punk on multiple occasions, just like Marvel suffered early in the series. That's a great pulse from Kevster. This one's over. Hack their EMP. Crimzo able to turn around as only Crimzo can, but no one here on the car. The Gladiators put this to bed in front of Big Earls.
Yeah, so you get around the corner here, which if you play really close, if you're the Titans and like you get like full team wiped, you definitely have a full second fight, right?
Yes.
So you put yourself in a situation where, two, maybe, yeah, I think probably 2's the max. I don't think you're gonna get like a full 3 fights, but 2 fights here potentially for the Titans here on defense if you play close.
Kev's just popping off, man. 19 final blows right now. It's pretty impressive stuff. Gladiators, I've got to say, I'm pointing out Cal here. They are making it very hard for Punk to be as free, knocking heads together in that back line as he was, especially on Ilios.
So we'll see the Titans going to go absolutely standard here on defense as the Gladiators I don't think there's an opportunity to do this. I think I gotta go for this again.
Now, probably... So the trick is protecting Faith and Crimzo here, because this TP is a little bit scary. Speed
Right, but the last time it happened, they ended up picking up the kills, but I don't know if you caught it. They actually got bioed coming through the TP.
Yeah. No, they're switching off. So I thought about it for a moment there, but Echo for Young. Echo. TP thrown up to try and maybe bait a free bio. I guess that seems good if you're going to dive in soon after.
What do you think about the Echo here?
Marvel say bio anyway. Exploitable. I don't want to play it against Crimzo. He's kind of scary.
Well, you also give up the EMP, right?
I guess they think that, like, there's no time to, like, really get that set up. Usually it's about a minute to a minute 10 for EMP generation if things are going well, but if things don't go well, you won't get it.
Right, as Titans back up a little bit, I do feel like this is way less scary to play against if you're the Titans, because there's no hacks coming through. You know, your Sugar Free now controls every health pack, right?
Yeah, I mean...
really have to get big value out of this.
Scary for Punk. Like, if he gets bioed, he's guaranteed dead. Well, he got bioed there and he wasn't, because Yaki wasn't in position. Punk had already backed out, but Punk can't linger as long, I guess, to see what otherwise I'd like to here. So trying to shut that down. Just going to be the one fight here. This is going to end it all. Translocator down for Sugar Free, but he found the kill on Yaki anyway. The Echo pick may not have been the one, but Punk's not going to get away with it. Capster finishes him off with the Pulse Pistols after striking a mortal blow with the Pulse Bomb. Hesank's got one of his own, though. Can he reciprocate? Accosted instantly by all of the Gladiators out in the open now as Marvel starts to stretch his legs further, looking to get into the back line, and the Titans even will be staved off. Cal ever so close to getting this nano, and they send it straight over to Marvel. Marvel tries to get into the back line here. Crimzo backing up as he goes, and Califani Astro get destroyed. The Vancouver Titans able to make the play at the last moment. Punk returns to the fight, and Faith finds the rally. There's nothing Marvel can do. Now he needs to stall. Yaki's going to whip around at about 10 HP, but this will be short-lived as well. That's the series, everybody. The Vancouver Titans finish the job on Route 66.
And they get the kill at the start, the Gladiators, right? You think that's the thing that's going to get them over the line? And Sugar Free gets an EMP, right? They get a nano there at the end, but an EMP comes through from Sugar Free, and that allows them to kind of seal the deal. As it is, it's tough, man. I mean, when you have these Sombra compositions, right, and even if you don't get the EMP, right, the ability to just constantly hack and do different things like that, you're not running that. You have to get insane value out of the Echo in that type of situation. You're giving up control of all health packs, the damage amp from the Sombra, the ability to stall on the payload. You give all of that up. The Titans make the Gladiators pay for that.
A tough decision. Yaki switched to the Tracer after that first death on Echo, but really feels like the damage is already done.
He went over the Sombra. He went over the Sombra after the Echo, and he gets like 45%, I think, when the game finished here. Towards EMP, he definitely would have had one. And if you have Marvel going in with a nano, and he has the EMP, you think you're in a better situation in that fight than just kind of having, like, you know, an Echo for a period of time. It's an interesting call.
How frustrated is Kevster there? Put on an absolute, I mean, Atlassian effort on that map, trying to throw his team on his shoulders, but it wasn't going to be enough. Let's talk about a player of the match here, someone who I just can't help but fanboy over. It's not Punk, surprisingly, although I am horribly biased towards him. Crimzo, you're a player of the match here. The setup, the bio
pretty easy, I think.
Yeah.
He was sick.
Yeah, and there are just some maps where, like, he is helping his team complete kills. You see, like, Punk able to escape and get out after getting bioed every now and then.
I mean, look at that one.
And the follow-up is what's more important, because the EMP comes in straight away. That's where you remarked that Marvel was slept and they decided to him anyway. I mean,
that is tremendous.
There isn't a stat that tracks, like, the kills necessary that are set up by Crimson. There's, like, biotic grenade kills, right? So that's a decent one, but also the sleeps. Man, really, really impressive performance here from Crimzo. So sick, 5.5 per 10 on the bio-nade kills. Those are ever so crucial. And yeah, his raw healing output on some maps, it might be expected from Arnas at this level, was excellent. So 4 players slept per 10 as well. Just a sick player,
also,
man.
Shout out to Faith, too. I mean, being able to keep him alive when everybody's kind of making a play for Crimzo, I mean, that is really impressive stuff. And I mean, the Gladiators, the fall just continues, man. I mean, what I talk about, that they ended up beating the Titans the last time they played 3-1. They lose here 3-0. the last time they played London, before obviously this recent loss, they had 3-0'd them as well. So two teams that they had beaten in pretty commanding fashion, 3-1 both times. They then get just turned around and just get 3-0'd. I mean, that's tough. That's not great.
Yeah, well, rock bottom here for the Gladiators. It does have a basement, by the way. Hopefully enlightenment awaits them there. Otherwise, the season is going to end in shambles for the Titans. So a great result. Let's hear from our guests to wrap up the day that's been, and of course also this last match. The Titans emerge with a clean 3-0 victory.
Thank you so much, Mitch and Matt, or Moober, how I adopted them a little earlier.
I like that. I like
Moober.
Moober.
Moober is a good
It's a
one.
cute name.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. What wasn't cute was Gladiators' performance.
Was not cute.
And I do think that needs to be addressed. I mean, you were the doomsday sayer heading into this one, and it all came true. At this point, you have to have a lot of questions. If you are a Gladiators fan, and they need to be addressed.
Few answers.
Oh,
Yeah.
answers.
Oh man. I mean, if anyone needs a break, it's these guys. Because, wow, it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. But I believe, I really should have looked this up if I was a professional at this job, that they have 2 more matches next week. And so, and those 2 matches can make all the difference.
That's not a good thing, Johnny. These guys are desperate for a patch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's bad that they got 2 more matches next week, Jake, because they want to go on break and they want to figure out what are we doing, what's the plan. They usually go next week's schedule in the bottom. Playing New York Excelsior is going to be a crucial match
And that's
to avoid that 11th place and miss out on knockouts. So this is a team that is in shambles.
I think those teams are very much, Gladiators and New York, very much in the same position of in threat of being passed by London Spitfire.
Yeah, and I mean, one of their matches is also Houston Outlaws, so that's a loss. Yeah.
That would have been good a year ago.
A year ago, that would have been a great matchup. Let's talk about the Vancouver Titans here, though, because this is the second match this week. Second time Crimzo gets to walk away with an absolute MVP performance as well as a player of the match. But that team as a whole just seems to have a really good understanding and a really good plan coming into their matches.
Yeah, I think their dives were immaculate. Sugar Free on the Sombra is looking really, really good. I can see why they're sticking to mostly Tracer Sombra because the EMPs are not only good, but also Sugar Free. His individual mechanics, I think, are really shining. We've seen a huge difference for me this season between there's a lot of decent, strong players in the Overwatch League who can handle the Sombra, but the ones who are making solo kills and just outputting more DPS when they do uncloak, it makes a huge difference. Even that getting 25, 30, 50 more damage on one of those kills, it's a game changer when you're trying to burst people during EMP or during a hack. So really impressed by Sugar Free today, as well as Crimzo. So much aggression coming in from the Titans, and just very few responses from the Gladiators, at least few that were good enough.
No, I agree. I think they were definitely a lot more aggressive than before, and I think it really suits their style as well. With the teamwork, the good teamwork that they're having and the aggressive play style, it's really working for the Vancouver Titans. And I think it was this win against the Gladiators was definitely deserved for the Vancouver Titans.
They're just on the same page when it comes to the dives and the EMP coordination and everything. So if you have Punk as the Winston on the same page, just Sugar Free when it comes to the hacks and EMPs, and then you got Heesang, who is popping off. Honestly, Heesang was supposed to be the Rookie of the Year leading candidate going into this year. Now, you'd probably say it's Dongak for Atlanta Reign for obvious reasons, but Heesang was that type of caliber of player who had great expectations going into this season. Didn't happen on the Shock. He underperformed on the Shock. Now on the Titans, really flourishing and really gel with these guys. So, great sign for the Vancouver Titans.
How do you see the rest of the season panning out for the Vancouver Titans?
I mean, with a win like this, as long as they just sort of do decent the rest of the season, they're almost a lock for play-ins. I think this win is kind of, not, I don't know, mathematically it solidifies them, but I'm pretty confident they're going to do fine for the rest of the season, get into play-ins. And then the question is, can you get that next slot? And that, I think, gets a lot harder getting into playoffs, because it's going to be one of those top 4 teams. Probably you could think Atlanta's going to make top 3, but one of Houston, Boston, or Florida is going to be in the play-ins. And whichever one it is, you almost, very likely they're going to be the one taking a playoff spot. So whoever is, the rest of the teams are almost fighting for just one more spot in the playoffs. Yeah. And so that gets a lot tougher for Titans. I think they look great, but we still need to see more from them playing elite teams.
Yeah, and as you said, of course, you know, after the break, we are going to be playing on a new patch, so that can turn everything upside down once again. So you really want to solidify yourself in like a solid middle of the pack, at least, to move forward. Now, we do have a winner's interview ready as well, and it is with no other than our beloved Punk. Congratulations on a W. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Hello. Am I starting? All right.
Yeah,
I'll just start with the question. So, I mean, you guys had a fantastic week, getting 2 wins. I'm just curious to know, like, Punk, or Vancouver Titans, is there like a team that you guys like really want to beat in the summer qualifiers that you guys haven't played yet?
I mean, I think today everyone wanted to win against the Glads pretty hard, so that was probably the one that everyone was looking forward to the most. The rest of the teams, it's like, you know, nothing special with them, so I think today's match was the one to get fired up for.
Yeah, makes sense. I just wanted to ask you about Heesang coming into this team, how you guys have gelled. The dives for you guys are looking better than ever before with Heesang's Tracer, Sugar Free Sombra, and your Winston, of course, really combining well in this match today. So I kind of want to ask you about working with Heesang, how he is as a player, how he is as a teammate. Is there any challenges with like language barrier, communication stuff, or just how that's working for you guys?
I mean, it's working well. I think Heesang fit pretty well into the team from day one. You know, we were pretty sold on that's who we wanted to pick up, and so I think, you know, he fits in. He says what he needs to say. It's a bit tough outside of the game to you know, hang out with him because it's a bit limited to the Overwatch English, but you know, it works, and he's a good bloke, so yeah, it's fun.
I will say, I believe you are playing the San Francisco Shock next week, so, you know, if there's any team you're circling on the calendar, maybe the Heesang revenge matchup, you can aid him.
Sure. You guys got to pull out all the stops for your boys' revenge match. That's like that's a basics. That's number one.
Yeah. I'd also like to.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
I'd also like to share that there was a time in today when you guys were playing when Jake just walked around the studio and the officers like, oh, I like saying like Australian phrases and stuff. And you're like,
you're gonna test me.
Good day, mate.
How's my G'day, mate. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Go, legend.
All right. Let's go. I'll take that.
For my actual question, though.
That was not a question.
Was that a question? No, that was a great question. No, that was not my actual question. So, you know, Zoe already mentioned, like we're going into a new patch, you know, season 6 and everything. Like, we have no idea what's in store. So I wanted to ask the Vancouver Titans then, because you picked up the Winston, obviously, and the entire team is really performing well with this dive composition now. Everyone's pretty much on comfort heroes. But I wanted to ask you, moving forward to the play-ins, as we get closer to playoffs, if you could pick any meta that we've ever seen and probably will see, what would be your desired meta? Like, for the Vancouver Titans, what would be your optimal favorite meta that you love to compete in for?
To win or to just
to improve? No, yeah, to win
Ideally
it all.
both.
What do you need to see? You can still perform in Winston compositions, but if you could pick anything, just like, oh, I hope this turns meta for our team.
I don't know. I think we're pretty comfortable with like the Junker Queen Lucio comps. That, you know, in previous years I've been pretty good at that and been on nice teams that perform. So, I mean, Junker Queen, any tank really, I feel comfortable. Just not Wrecking Ball. We need to avoid Wrecking Ball at all costs. So, yeah, anything else is good.
All right, well, we've seen a little bit of Junker Queen this week. I mean, Boston Uprising and stuff like that. So maybe we'll sneak in that to some maps. We'll see. But you're doing really well in the Winston, so great job.
Thanks, mate.
Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Punk. We're going to let you go celebrate for now, and we're going to wish you best of luck in your upcoming matches.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you so much. Punk from the Vancouver Titans taking a decisive victory against the LA Gladiators. A much needed one as well, as they are contesting for a solid middle of the pack kind of spot. And Vancouver Titans are very much on the way to getting just that. So great performance overall. Gladiators once again back to the drawing board. Here are the scores of today's matches. We kick things off with a Florida Mayhem making quick work of the Washington Justice. After that, London Spitfire took on the Vegas Eternal, and while the Vegas Eternal did put up a fight, it was in the end the London Spitfire walking away with it, or rather charging away with it, as they once more, thank you, reinforces like, yeah, she did it, nice.
Good one. They shattered all expectations? No?
They did, yeah.
Shut up.
Thought I had another one, but apparently I didn't. What I do have though is lots of action.
Jake, you don't appreciate dad jokes? You got the dad look and everything.
You combined two puns that don't make sense in one. Like that was a travesty.
It's Sunday.
The English language.
I'm allowed Sundays. I'm sorry, Zoe. I interrupted you, Zoe. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I love being interrupted with whatever that was.
Absolute chaos with no meaning interrupting Zoe.
Well, it's okay, because the only thing I wanted to do was set you guys up to talk some more. So you really just take it away from your own opportunities to speak. Let's kick things off with our best of the days, though. There, Danny.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
You know, we were talking about London. You know, they really hammered it home, right? Deutsche Hammermann. Hammermann?
Hammermann.
Yeah, that is my best of the day. Here's Hottie landing
Hottie
a
Hammermann.
fat shatter.
This is a fatty shatty.
Fatty Hottie Chatty.
Ooh.
Going for the pins, and I think this really got them the win for Numbani. So I thought this was a cool clip of how much of a Chad Hottie really is.
Very cool.
Using the Deutsche Hammermann, going I already forgot it.
Rein da.
Right?
Reinhard geht rein da. Reinhard goes in there. Rein da, in there.
Hottie most definitely
yes.
does that. I'm not gonna try.
Today we learned. Teaching them German, not my native tongue anyway, so I don't know why I'm doing that. Either way, there were some more best of the days. We want to take a look at what you got for us, Jake.
I've got my best of the day is actually from that last match. Crimzo got player of the match, but it was his partnership with Heesang that really impressed me here. After Punk goes down, got EMP'd and bursted with his primal, couldn't get it off. Heesang stalls like a madman. I mean, he is 1v4, dancing on the cart, getting so many heals from Crimzo, but I mean, the Gladiators are just 1v4 focusing him and they can't kill him. And I mean, he's like single-handedly holding on to this with, of course, well-played support movements to keep the team alive. And now Punk's back with the primal, and so they clutch out of here. I mean, they did full hold on defense, but that was, you had no right. They had no right to stay alive. That was a good EMP on the Winston. It should have been over. They just couldn't. He's saying it was too slippery. Juking, driving.
Hate it being slippery. What you got for us?
That could have been a telestration right there, because I think Marvel actually.
So he's gonna blink with his AD key and
no, but Marvel. I think Marvel actually went for Crimson in that clip, and so then you got split focus where some people are trying to kill Heesang and some Crimson.
I solved the puzzle. Just come out on Winston and bubble the Tracer, and you can't get healed and he dies. But you came out Doom. Doom sucks.
Here we go.
Buff Doom, developers. We all want to see Doomfist. It's a fucking goated hero.
It is indeed.
It is. Indeed it is. Anyway, for my best of the day, it's not Jake saying that. It's actually this from Backbone right here when he decided to walk down this little cliff right here after he transferred down. I don't know, Backbone. That might be a minus $1,000 right there for you, buddy. So Backbone, yeah, it's unfortunate time because his transfer killer dies. But he decides to go off the edge right here. The shake as well. Love it, service.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you for that one, Nate. That's probably
Let's
Nate
not act like
there.
that didn't happen to all of us at least once.
I just I done it on my own.
Everybody's falling off the map on Overwatch on accident.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen. But we're not in the Overwatch League, so for us, it's less
we don't get paid
shame.
to
There's not
be good.
thousands of
Nobody
people
watches.
watching us. Exactly.
Other than your disappointed support players, they're always watching.
They do, yeah. And then you get the question marks in chat, and you're like, oh no, moving on. But yeah, those fantastic plays and many more put a button on our day. Now the week action is over. However, of course, we do have more in store for you, starting in the East. So let's take a look at the schedule coming up for you on Friday, August the 4th.
Wow.
We're going to kick things off with the Guangzhou Charge and the Seoul Dynasty. Afterwards, Pokerface will face off against Panthera. And last but certainly not least, at 4 a.m. in the morning, Seoul Infernal will be fighting it out with the Shanghai Dragons.
Wow.
Any matches which get you hyped and excited?
Guangzhou Charger, 1-5, Zoe.
That is fantastic. That doesn't answer my question.
I want to see Infernal. I think Infernal is hot on this summer stage. I think we wanted to see more from them, and I wanted to see more from the Dragons too. I think bringing Fate into this roster, who knows if he can be the difference maker. I think it's going to be tough though. I feel like Infernal are one of the teams to beat right now, and I'm excited to see more of Fuel. I mean, we don't get to see them on the 4th, but I want to see more of Fuel. Fuel 6-0. Dallas Fuel. Bringing it back.
Fuel's got to turn up for the playoffs, man. I'm just.
It is Dallas Fuel in the playoffs.
Come on, they got to turn up for the playoffs.
It would be great to see them qualify.
Are they gonna win it all?
Well, they will qualify. They will qualify.
won it all. They won it all.
Start with getting in the playoffs. Like
Maybe
baby
Houston
steps,
Outlaws
baby
should win
steps.
it all.
Maybe they
now you're
would.
talking, now you're speaking my language.
First off, they have to continue, of course, in the fashion they are, and they are very likely to at least secure themselves a direct spot into our playoffs, which will be absolutely fantastic. Toronto Defiant will be the first opponent next week. Gladiators get yet another shot against the New York Excelsior, which frankly has not looked bad in this current meta. So
That's a scary match for Glads.
yeah, it is crazy.
If they
You know,
lose
that you
that
have
one,
to say
that's
that.
over, bro.
Now, Vegas
Dangerous.
Eternal get yet another chance to get that first very much elusive, slippery victory, as they are currently sitting on an 0-12 score. Vancouver Titans will be the team to beat. However, Vancouver Titans looking rather good right now.
Not gonna be easy.
That's
I will
not gonna be
say,
easy.
depending on the map pool, Vegas Eternal, they have that, like, you know, that factor throughout the years of
That
Overwatch
factor?
League. Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about, so let me get there. So over the course of Overwatch,
Sorry.
over the course of Overwatch League history, right? Sometimes there's that team, and they like pull you down with them. They like drag you down to their level and their compositions. And dare I say, like, Lone Spitfire has been pretty good at that past couple of weeks, but like Vegas Eternal, pulling out the Life Weaver, Summer Qualifiers comes, like they could drag down Vancouver Titans to that level if, you know, there's not heavy dive maps and stuff, but...
Chengdu might be gone, but the zone is still alive.
Yeah, the Chengdu zone, yeah.
The zone is still there.
They're still with us spiritually.
In fairness to Vegas, I think there's bright spots in this team. They seriously, there's moments where they look really good. I mean, they beat London on some rush mirrors. I don't think anybody has done that yet that we've seen since London started playing this Ride Rush. Like,
are they the second best brawl team in the league?
I mean, look, we don't want to get into the transit property, you get in trouble there.
Florida Mayhem,
but Florida Mayhem's laughing. But so I do think it's a match that you have to take seriously as the Titans, because I think Vegas, they're hungry for that first win. They're going to keep coming back more and more aggressive each week. They're going to try to get that win.
Speaking of hunger for winning and being aggressive, some of you might know that our production crew is actually running pick'ems each and every week, and well, this week's race was tight between the members of the replay team, actually, Jess, Neil, and Ken. But after today's matches, Neil, our two-time champion, just couldn't make it.
I thought you were going to say he won.
No, he's out. He's out. Our matches, you know, they do get heated. So does our crew, though. Neil came in hot. Okay,
Yeah, he came
in aggressive. He was talking the talk. No, I'm talking about his tweet.
Yeah.
Excuse me? I mean, yeah, you got it right for one day. Good job, Neil.
Florida 3-1. These are good preds.
Yeah,
However, Jess, with the slap back.
Let's go, Jess!
Let's go, Jess. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he had it coming. So there's that. That's right. Shame him. Point him out. That's correct. That's the only thing you need to do. Neil, absolute loser, completely buffooned it this week. However, we do, of course, have to give out this week's pick and belt. And that one goes to the Chess. Chess did it.
Jess, congrats!
Chess, let's go, Chess. Was it just Chess or was it Chess and Ken?
Ken, the tie.
Yeah, the tie.
As long as it's not Neil, the kingdom can remain in peace.
That's true.
What?
Anyone but Neil.
What is this Neil standard?
more Neil.
Neil builds my illustrations. We love Neil.
No, Neil's the
Come on.
We like Neil.
True, but yeah,
He
this one,
blows.
this week goes
he
to
deserves it.
Ken and Chess.
You gotta,
He had it coming. Talk the talk, walk the walk. You
Neil's
gotta
like
dish out and
Atlanta
take it.
Rain. You know, he had a lot of things going for him, and then now it's over.
Pride cometh before the fall.
Over. There you go. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it do be like that. Do better next week, I guess. But that's it for the Overwatch League for this week, gentlemen. It's once again been an absolute pleasure. Thanks to everyone out in the production, of course. Once again, it's been an absolute blast working with all of you each and every single day. And a big shout out to all our fans watching. We will be back with more matches, more action next week. Same place, same time. See you there.
안녕!
Annyeong.
가.
Hello. Hello.